Hello. Thank you for joining me again on Dr. Dahan's Live Show. This is your show, doctors, where we share principles, wisdom, and invaluable tools, basically all the insights and inspiration that will help you become the best and ultimate healthcare provider. Today's subjects and how to get rid of mental roadblocks is something which is so important, critical. We have so much information going through our head today, and everything that happens is so fast. Everything moves so fast. How do we overcome these mental roadblocks? We're not sure. Sometimes we're stuck in an area. We just feel we can move forward. We don't know if we should go right or left or make a decision. We have a mentor, but we're not sure if this is the decision that we should follow. We have friends, we can ask them, but we're also not sure of that. Sometimes we ask our family members or spouses, but we don't know. These are mental roadblocks that have been created by our own mind, our own imagination. Something which is self-created, which is only about us. So here's a few questions and a few concepts and protocols and systems which I've put together. Let me ask you a question. When something happens, and it happens to you, in any direction, what is it that you do? Well, usually what you do is you put it on the blame list. It's the economy, or it's the interest rate, or family issues. We blame it on somebody. So here's some recommendation right now that you want to start with. Give up the blame list. Don't blame anybody. Don't blame anything. If what happens, happens, then that's what it is, because it's not what happens that determines the major part of your future. Because what happens to us all. It happens no matter what. It's what you do about it. And that will make a difference. This will make a difference will get you to where you need to be. If you do something different in your relationship, for instance, with your family, and little things can make a difference. It will change all the circumstances. You can't change the circumstances the way they are today. Not about you, not about what we have. But you can change yourselves, and you can change what you do about it. At any given time, things that could happen to you can be changed by the person that you become. What you have at the moment, and you have to know this, I learned it myself, and I'm telling you, it's been a great value of me. What you have at the moment is you've attracted by the person that you have become. This is what you've attracted because of the person you have become. Once you know this and you realize, okay, this is what it's all about, the answer is yes, that's what I have. So you might ask the question, then how can I change? I have this mental roadblock. I don't know where to go with that. Well, if you will change, then everything for you will also change. You don't have to change what's the outside, but you can change what's inside. The more that you have, the more that you can change things. Personal development, self-refinement, as it's called today, it's such a major issue in everybody's life, and it is a great, phenomenal concept. And often, people pay a lot of money to go to all of these shows to learn how to become better. The problem is they don't implement it. Here's some recommendations what you might want to do, because self-development, self-refinement is a never-ending process. How to take your character and make it better and become a better person. You can start with your money, for instance. Because of the economic, it's easy to see whether or not you made an error in judgment. You can start with that. For instance, you may say, I get paid. But you get paid for what? Well, I get paid for the work that I do. The answer is no. You don't get paid for the work that you do. You get paid for bringing value to the market. The place in the market is the place of reality. It's the time. And it takes time to bring value to the market. But that's what you're getting paid for. You don't get paid for time. Very important to understand. You get paid for the value. It is that value that you're bringing in. So a person says, well, last year I made $100,000. I made $400,000. Or somebody says, I make $20 an hour. Not true at all. As a matter of fact, if that was the case, you could stay at home and we can send you your money. That's not what you get paid for. We get paid for the value that we put into the time. We don't get paid for the time. The value that we put into the time, the value we bring it to the market, that's what we get paid. And is it possible, if you think about it, to become twice as valuable and make twice as much money? Absolutely, undeniably, unequivocally. You could do that. And how about 3 times the amount? Yes. How about 5 times the amount? Yes. Think of some of the CEOs today in some of these major companies and some of the bonuses they're taking. 2, 3, $400 million. How's that possible? Because they brought more value to the market. Because in America, something which is so beautiful about this country is that America is a ladder, not a bed, not a protocol, not a system. It's a ladder. The more value you bring in, and the more you can make, and the more you can do at any given time. I'll ask you a question right now. I don't know you, and can't see you because I'm here behind the camera. But let's say you are fit or not fit physically. Could you do 100 push-ups right now? Let's say you say, sure. Could you do 200 push-ups? You say, well, not really. So I ask you this. Could you do 202 push-ups? Just a few more than what you've been able to do up until now? And the answer is yes. Well, in 3, 4, 5 days from now, could you add 5 more to that? The answer is yes. How about in 2 weeks from now? Could you add 10 more to that number? And the answer is yes. So as you can see, if I were to ask you, could you do 200 push-ups? And you said yes. 220 and you say no. But if you take it slowly but surely, over a period of time, you could do 220, you could do 240, you could do 280. But I thought 280 was impossible. As you can see, it can be done. If you work on your job, you will make a living. But if you work on yourself, you can make a fortune. I heard this years ago from a mentor, and I'm telling you, it is so true. You can work harder, but you can work harder on yourself, not on your job. If you work harder on your job, you'll just make perhaps a little more money for your living. But if you work harder on yourself and you become a better person, you'll make a fortune. And you'll be whomever you wish to be. You can't try to change some of these things like the seed and the soil and the sunshine and the rain and the mix of the seasons. That's not given up to you. Let some of these things be. We're not in control, as you know, in a lot of these things. The creator of the world, God Almighty, created this world. And he created with everything that is necessary to make this place a beautiful garden for us to live in. However, you can work on what's inside of you. You can work on your attitude. You can work on your personality. You can work on your abilities. And everything, I promise you, around you will change. So here are 4 major lessons which I'd like you to take note of. And this perhaps should help you remove some of these roadblocks that you have. The first one is about the concept of the major versus the minor. Study the major. Some people don't do well in life, as it says, because they major in minor things. Study the major. Make sure that at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you're not spending major times on minor things. Otherwise, you'll end up being an average person. That's not what you want. There are 2 things to consider in life at any given time. The best way to illustrate life is this. Life and business are like the changing season. It's just what it is. You can't change the seasons, but you can change yourself. There are some things that you don't have control of, and therefore it will be the same. Here's lesson number 2 of things. Number 1 is to study the major. Here's lesson number 2. Learn how to handle the winter. The winter can be short or long or hard, but one thing is for sure, and that you can take my word for it, it always comes after the fall. It's not going to change. There are things like this that will always be this way. But there are many winters. There's the winters of life, your life. There's the winter of economics or social disappointment. It's coming to us all. All of us have to go through it. The winters are the difficult times that you will experience over the next 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years of your life. They're not to be avoided. They're to be mastered. They're not to be ignored. They're to be handled. You need to know that. You need to learn how to handle these winters. You must learn how to handle things that come this way. For instance, there are some things that you know that are obvious. Night always comes after day, and the day always comes after night. You have to learn that. So you must learn that how to handle the difficulty, which is always after an opportunity, or vice versa. So perhaps you're going through some difficulties right now. I guarantee you that soon enough that difficulty will turn into an opportunity. You say, well, I've been going through headaches and troubles and testing for quite some time. Don't worry, things will change. Because after a recession comes expansion. It's not going to change. That's what the life is all about. But there are 3 words for you that you can remember about this. Number 1, you can become stronger. Number 2, you can get wiser. Number 3, you can get better. Make a note of these words: stronger, wiser, better. And that's what it's all about. And don't wish for life to become easier. No, wish you were better. Wish things about you. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenges. Wish for more wisdom. That's what life is all about. By you wishing of the right things, you know what to do. So lesson number 1, study the major. Lesson number 2, learn how to handle the winter. Here is lesson number 3. Take advantage of the spring. Spring is called opportunities, when things come to our lives and sometimes things happen. And you know what? It always happens this way. As a matter of fact, it says that God is a genius, interestingly enough, because spring always comes after winter. Always, no matter what. And it's been the same way for over 6,000 years. Simple as that. Close to 6,000 years, because the word, according to the Bible, is about 5,700 years, something around that. So, for the last 5,700 years, that's what the world has been in, and things are not going to change. Days follow nights. Opportunities come after difficulty. Expansion comes after recession. All of them with a regularity. And that's what life is all about. But you must do something about this, because everyone has to do something about it for things to change. And so you could be planting in the spring or begging in the fall. If things are good now, or things are very, very good, use that opportunity to make it better, to save some of that money and know what you're doing with it. If things are not good, use this opportunity to become wiser and stronger and smarter. Stronger in every aspect. Learn the skills. You're saying, well, I don't have enough patience right now. I'm not making enough money. I'm going through a rough time. That's okay. This is the time for you to sharpen your skills, so that very soon, when things will explode, when things will grow, you'll be able to do so much more. So number 1, study the major. Number 2, learn how to handle the winter, the difficult times. Number 3, take advantage of the spring. These are your opportunities. Here's number 4 on the lesson. You have to know that everything that we do in life, which is good, will be attacked. And I should know that better than everybody else. I became a consultant back in 1994. I had about 8-9 years, close to 10 years of beautiful 2 clinics, doing phenomenally successful, doing absolutely well. I was invited to give a talk in New York, and I did. And before you know it, within a few seminars, I decided to become a consultant because of the demand that was out there, helping doctors how to integrate their centers into multidisciplinary clinics. Guess what happens? Within a couple of years, the numbers absolutely proliferated. They exploded. They went exponentially bigger, and they kept on growing. And I had hundreds, not dozens, hundreds of requests to help doctors become integrated medical centers. And that's what happened. As soon as that happened, bingo, the insurance companies looked at me and said, oh my goodness, this one is creating a lot of very, very successful centers that are making a lot of money. They couldn't take it. And I got sued. Not once, not twice, 3 times. 3 times. In 3 different states. How about that? And these things don't stop. That's the way the system goes. Why? All good things will be attacked. That's as simple as that. That's lesson number 4. Don't ask why this is the way it is. That is a question only God can answer. Ask what you're going to do about it. Let reality be the best beginning. Not to think so is naive. It's not something that you want to do. All values, your values have to be defended. Your social values, your political values, your friendship values, your marriage values, your family values, your business value. Those you have to decide to make sure that you defend them at all times. But in the garden of the world that we live in, it must be tended every single season. You can't avoid all the weeds that will come out and all the people around you that will try to take it from there. Learn on how to reap in the fall without any complaint. That's what it's all about. Take responsibility for what happens, and taking responsibility is the highest form of human creativity. It's the day that you know that you've gone from childhood to adulthood. And that's what makes you now the best person that you can be. That's what it's all about. That is the lesson. All good will be attacked. And you know what? I could just say that After years of being sued, and it lasted many years, I overcame it. Why? Because eventually these things go away. That's what it's all about. And yes, you lost money, you lost your home, you lost, perhaps a tremendous amount of investments, whatever it is that you've lost. It'll come back. Get yourself up, start all over again, and work for it. And things will be good. And things, if right now for you things are going well, then make sure that you take these opportunities and solidify them. Make sure that you invest the money that you have. Make sure that you create a clear path to what you're going to do. One way or the other, whether you're in the dumps right now or on top, whether you're in the bottom or on top, the wheel turns. So at one point in time, you're bound to be on the bottom again. Is it possible to always be on top? No. No one can always be on top. And there are things which we will always experience. There's the family experience. There is the financial experience, there is the spiritual experience, and there's the personal health, personal experience. Not all these things. You cannot be healthy, extremely happy, tremendously successful, and have everything going with you, and have it all in one package. You won't find those people. If they're very wealthy, they have issues with their family. If they have great family, they usually don't have all the money they want. And if they have all the money they want and a phenomenal family, sometimes they don't have their health. Life is all about. You can't get it all. But you can, if you want to, set yourself up today. Don't let these mental roadblocks be in your way. You can set yourself up to be successful, to have a good life, and to have pretty much everything that you wish for and that you need in this life. I hope this helps you. I hope this becomes one of the lecture that you watch over and over again whenever you're doubting this. A lot of this information I myself learned from other people, other consultants, and this has been a great adventure for me. Things that I've learned from my mentors. And I'm sharing this with you because I think it's important. I wish you all the best and God bless you. Please leave your comments below. Make sure that you say whatever you wish. I promise you that I will respond. Comment as much as you can. This will help this channel grow, but at the same time, it will help me find out exactly where you stand and what you've got. You can also email me at drdahan@dahanlive.com or call me at 888-67-DAHAN, 888-673-2426. God bless you and thank you very much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell to get my latest update.